Those held inside will require COVID-19 protocols. DIA Director of Programming Larry Baranski has this on the festival's return.
Extremely exciting in-person event that we are going to go back to the efforts to activate and engage the neighborhood by presenting these programs outdoors on the Woodward Plaza, the North Lawn, the South Lawn. And I really think it's part of Midtown as a whole returning as a hub.
Event organizers say 200,000 people attended last year's festivities virtually. They're anticipating large in-person crowds this year. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Some sunshine is possible at times today. Also, a few showers are possible in the area. Highs will top out near 75 degrees. Winds westerly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear. Lows drop to 51. Winds west-northwest around 5 miles per hour. Friday, an abundance of sunshine. Highs head back to 75. Winds west 5 to 15. Friday night, clear to partly cloudy skies and diminishing winds. Lows fall back to 52. And then Saturday, lots more sun and highs reach 77. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 59.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show, this one for a Thursday morning. Nice to have you with us. We're going to have open phones during the 10 o'clock hour. We'll probably have some later on this hour. And on Focus this morning, we're going to learn about Old Town Junction. But we're going to start out talking to a very special guest from the Midlan Business Alliance. And we say good morning to Nicole Wilson. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Art. Thanks for the opportunity to have this discussion.
No, glad to have you with us this morning. So in any community, and particularly in Midland with the major corporations and businesses that you have, you need to attract people. You need to attract people to come and work for those businesses. But the community has to be prepared for it through infrastructure and many other avenues. So when you look at your region right now and you look at the Midland Business Alliance, what does Midland need? Does it need more than it has?
Certainly. So this conversation is really interesting, and it's coming at a time when we have to look at community infrastructure, both in terms of the water and stormwater and sewers and all of the typical pieces that we think of as infrastructure, roadways and others, in addition to a community's ability to meet kind of the softer side of infrastructure. Things like housing and childcare are two of the biggest concerns that we hear from our businesses from their talent pool. So infrastructure in this case, and the evaluation that we're working on right now, is really that softer infrastructure's capacity. And can we meet the needs of our community in childcare and housing to support attracting new talent to our community? So a long-winded way of saying absolutely, we need more.
So and that's the next question, is in what areas. I had, and the reason I'm interested in this too, I had an interesting conversation with Jim Federling from Dow, the CEO of Dow, a couple of years ago at the beginning of the Great Lakes Bay Invitational Golf Tournament. And I asked him, Jim, I said, why spend millions of dollars on this golf tournament? And his answer was pretty enlightening, actually. He said, look, first of all, it gives me a world platform to tell people about us. And his answer was, if I can get them here, I can keep them here. Is that the way you view Midland?
Absolutely. Midland is, I born and raised here in Midland, and such a unique community in that we're able to support incredible assets, certainly in large part by way of those large corporations that support such incredible assets like the Midland Center for the Arts and the Greater Midland Community Center, and certainly the Invitational and the Country Club, and countless others. And so he's absolutely right in talking about exposure and exposing potential talent to our community and the assets and the quality of life that we're all so blessed to have here in this community. And once they see it, these assets that rival that of any larger community, with the safety and the incredible school system, we can absolutely retain them once they're here.
So let's talk about some of the particulars. Let's talk about housing stock, for example.
Certainly.
What do you need?
There are a couple of elements that go into housing in a community. It isn't just availability. It's about housing choice and being sure that the types of housing that we have meet the needs of that talent that is evaluating for it. And as we know, talent in years past certainly evaluated for a career path prior to establishing where they wanted to be. And that isn't necessarily the case, particularly with the rise of remote work. Workers and talent are really making the decision based on places and the houses that they can enjoy while they live in this place. So it's about choice. It's about attainable housing, not necessarily affordable. That's a little bit of a shift in term, but being sure that the housing that is available here is within the price point, the place, and provides them the opportunity for a lifestyle that they're really hoping to create, whether that's walkability or a single level home or not needing to shovel a walk, whatever that looks like. It's being sure that that mix is available. And right now, our community really needs missing middle housing.
What do you mean by middle housing?
Sure. Missing middle housing is housing that is available for the mid-range income that is paid in our community. So in this case, it's more, if I were to describe it in looks, it is smaller in scale. So we're not looking at 3,000 square foot homes. We're looking at between 1,000 and 1,800 square feet, potentially in a loft style, brownstones, price point wise, somewhere between $950 and $1,600, and walkable, connected to the neighborhoods that they exist in.
Since this kind of housing primarily is built by for-profit contractors, how do you entice
Correct.
them into building this type of housing?
Certainly. It becomes about using the existing programs that exist to subsidize is kind of an overused and sometimes perceived as a dirty word, but to provide tax incentives and to use the programs that are available to make the numbers work to meet that capacity. It's also demand. So showing that demand, and through our real estate professionals, they certainly are hearing the types of housing that are desired by their clientele. And so as that kind of filters down and developers come into the market and they know there's a need, those two can meet pretty well. And certainly availability of land is another piece.
So what's government's role in this?
Sure. Government's role at present, we're seeing some wonderful things come out of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation with their new developers toolkit that was developed, put in place to really help new real estate developers to understand the model and how they can build a capital stack to support the rents and price points necessary to create these developments. So in some cases, it's technical assistance. In some cases, it's incentives. And help to get those projects off the ground.
So the question is, with all of this known, are you seeing movement in that direction?
Certainly. There have been a number of housing projects announced in Midland in the past year, with Center City Lofts and a few others that I would mention. And so certainly there is increasing availability, or will be in the near future as the construction gets underway there. But I think that the issue for us really is that being sure that that happens in short order and not letting our eye, or I guess not taking our eye off the ball for the need for housing, even as those units come on board. We know that back in 2017, 2018, that housing gap was pretty significant through the housing study that was done. And then certainly evaluating that even further, looking at the impact of the pandemic and the flood at reducing some of those units that were considered available and appropriate prior to.
All right, hang on. I've got to take a break, Nicole, and we'll come back and talk a little more. We're talking to Nicole Wilson from the Midlan Business Alliance, and we will have more right after these notes on WSGW. And the first note I want to talk to you about is my friends at Thalen Honda. I've been driving a Honda Accord Sport. What a fabulous ride. I love this little car. But as you know, if you drive around, you look at dealers, you don't see a lot of new cars on the lots. Now, Thalen Honda does have some new cars on the lot, but they also have quite a few in the pipeline. They'd love to tell you about them so you can reserve one for yourself while you still can. So stop into Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, and talk to one of the Thalen Honda representatives. And remember, with gas prices where they are, Honda was ranked first among full-line automakers in the 2021 EPA report at 29.1 miles per gallon. That's 3.7 miles per gallon higher than the industry average for the 2020 model year. Plus, the 2022 Honda Civic won the prestigious North American Car of the Year award. And in addition, the Honda Ridgeline was ranked first among the longest-lasting trucks. Visit Thalen Honda on North Euclid Avenue today to see what's in the pipeline and reserve one for yourself. And if you're looking to move up in vehicles, maybe into a newer pre-owned vehicle, remember that all the Thalen dealerships are lined up side by side right there on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Hundreds of used cars to choose from, probably the biggest collection in the Great Lakes Bay region. And you can find out more online at thinkthalen.com. And all of them have been inspected and ready for delivery. Remember this, the Thalen family, they've been serving your automotive needs for better than 45 years.
Moments like watching my grandson steal second mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
First-time weekly jobless claims pull a U-turn. The Labor Department reporting 229,000 Americans applied for initial benefits last week, up by 27,000 from the previous week's revised level. That's the most since mid-January. The European Central Bank announcing it will raise interest rates next month for the first time in 11 years, followed by another hike in September. The bank saying inflation had become a major challenge and that forces driving it up have broadened and intensified. Back home, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise a key interest rate by 0.5 percentage point at its policy meeting next week. The head of the Federal Trade Commission saying the agency is pushing an agenda of actions and policies to protect children's privacy online. The work will include tougher enforcement of a law governing child privacy and eyeing algorithms used by social media platforms to target young people. FTC Commissioner Lena Khan saying children's privacy is enormously important. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Steve Rappaport, invested in you.
After 9/11, Ben Harrow couldn't wait to enlist in the Army. But in Afghanistan, Ben stepped on an IED while leading an anti-terrorism mission. Ben survived, but lost both of his legs above the knee, 2 fingers, and sustained injuries to his right forearm. Ben now lives in a smart home from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which gave him back his independence despite his severe physical challenges. Help heroes like Ben. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSGW online poll in the aftermath of the recent multiple shootings that are happening at schools and other locations. President Biden urging Congress to finally do something about gun control, including passing red flag laws. Democrats and Republicans are divided on what to do, but these red flag laws at least seem to be one area of discussion that both are talking about. Red flag laws, which would allow courts to remove firearms from people deemed a danger to themselves or others. Many Democrats are supporting red flag laws, but want additional controls attached. Several Republican lawmakers, certainly not all, are open to the red flag laws, with no attachments, though. In fact, the Republican-led state of Florida did pass a red flag law 4 years ago, for example. Poll question is, what do you say about red flag laws related to gun discussions? Do you think we need a federal red flag law? Do you think that individual states should decide for themselves on red flag laws? Do you not support red flag laws at all, or you're not sure? You can vote. Head to WSW.com. You scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Nicole Wilson from the Midlan Business Alliance about infrastructure needs in the Midland region to attract employees and businesses. So, Nicole, we talked a lot about housing, but if you took housing off the list for a minute and you look down the list of needs, what's next? What is the next major infrastructure need in the Midland region?
Well, I think you had the opportunity to talk with our president and CEO, Tony Thomas, a couple of weeks ago about, the very hard pieces of infrastructure in terms of stormwater and sewer and those pieces. But if we're talking about the soft side, aside from housing, childcare seems to be a huge issue for our employers and our residents. Childcare, this is not unique to Midland, I should say. It really spans, across the state and nation, really, as childcare needs have grown, even though some of us are still working hybrid or some completely remotely still. It hasn't really changed the demand, and in some ways have increased it. So Midland is definitely in need of more providers.
It's, in some ways, this whole discussion is kind of a vicious circle, because in order to have that child care, you have to have the child care workers who have to live in the community. And in order to attract them, you have to have all of the other infrastructure in which you're trying to attract all those other employees. And it just goes round and round, doesn't it?
It really does. And certainly, in economic development, we're really called to be problem solvers, to stand between or to provide assistance between businesses and the providers that serve their employees and the businesses themselves. So the question is often asked, how are housing and childcare economic development And the answer is that if it's a barrier to development or barrier to growth for our businesses, it really becomes something that economic development will in some way interact with.
How important, and this is, we've heard this term quite a bit in the discussion of infrastructure at the national level and the local level. How important is broadband access to all of this?
Certainly, absolutely, it's critical. And certainly we have programs, I think I mentioned in my newsletter last week, Tina Lynch, who is serving in a director capacity to grow broadband throughout our community. Tina's a wealth of knowledge on that, and we're excited to be working in that space. But broadband really becomes another piece of virtual infrastructure that contributes to the ability for businesses to locate and really more residents to locate here and work remotely for other organizations. And we certainly saw that during the pandemic, where we saw folks pulling up to places of business that have open Wi-Fi and parking their cars and taking Zoom calls when they couldn't get connectivity at home. So it was kind of an interesting time for sure.
So let me put you on the spot. Let's grade Midland as a place to live using A, B, C, D, E, F, F being the absolute worst, A being the absolute best. Where does Midland fall on that spectrum, given all the things we've talked about, plus all the other things that are there? How do you rate Midland?
Certainly. Well, if I'm to go all in, I'm going to go with a B. And I'm going to go with a B because I believe that we always have an opportunity to grow and evolve and to continue to get better. That said, all of the challenges included, we have an incredible community that has amazing assets for our residents, our businesses to grow, and such strong industry that exists with several, Fortune 50 and Fortune 100, Fortune 500s in our backyard, and who are continuing to grow and invest here. So plentiful in terms of job opportunities and career opportunities, growth opportunities for those that already exist here, incredible talent, a wealth of engineers and chemical engineers, and a wonderful school system to grow that pipeline. So I'm going to go with a B.
So Midland is part of a region. It doesn't stand alone. How important is all of this infrastructure in Saginaw, Bay, Isabella to Midland in terms of attracting talent?
Sure, absolutely. When you look at it from a talent perspective, again, talent is looking for place as their primary factor for deciding where to live and where to work from. And so each of our communities in the region really offers a unique living experience and a unique lifestyle experience. And so for Midland, that opportunity, given the commute is so short, I think 15 minutes to Bay or Saginaw, about 20 to Mount Pleasant. So looking at those opportunities, depending on the lifestyle that talent is looking for, it's certainly found anywhere in the region, depending on the priority. So infrastructure is just as important in all of those communities as it is here, both in the hard, pipes and roadways and transportation and mobility, to the softer side of housing and childcare.
There's been discussion regionally about transportation, because right now, if for example, you live in Midland and you want to go to Saginaw Valley State University, you got to take multiple buses, and it may take you a couple hours. There's been talk about maybe a regional transit type program. Something we need?
I think that intercommunity transportation makes mobility much less challenging and much more accessible in terms of the job market. So if there is an employment opportunity in Saginaw, providing that mobility from Midland to Saginaw for those that want to choose a lifestyle here in Midland, but work and have that employment there, I think it's very important.
Well, how long before we see all this come to fruition? He says, asking Nicole to look in her crystal ball.
Certainly, much like anything else, housing and childcare are not quick fixes. Certainly there is work to be done and there's work underway. So we're seeing, like I said before, some of that housing development happening, and that's wonderful. I think childcare is a little bit different of an animal as it has so many different factors involved. Certainly, quality, price, the availability of talent to locate nearby, to be able to work nearby. So it is all connected. What I can tell you is that economic development is not an overnight gig, not something that's solved quickly. And I think that as we continue to work and put the right systems in place, we'll continue to see growth.
Well, Nicole, I want to thank you for spending a little bit of time with us this morning. What else is there on the Midland Business Alliance horizon in the near future?
Sure. We continue to work in infrastructure led by Diane Middleton, our VP of Advocacy, and she does a wonderful job with helping us to understand all the inner workings of the government on that side. Tina, working in broadband, is doing some incredible things. The farmers market is rolling right along with a wonderful season. And we're continuing to look at these community infrastructure pieces to reduce barriers and make it easier for folks to grow here.
Well, Nicole, again, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, Art. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Nicole Wilson from the Midland Business Alliance. We thank her for joining us. That will open up our phone lines from now right through 11 o'clock. We're going to have open phones, whatever you'd like to chat about. You can give us a call, and the number is 752-6111. Toll free 866-790-WSGW. We'll be back to chat in a few minutes.
You're tired of it, aren't you? Sleeping on a different couch every night, wondering if you'll ever have any food to eat, feeling incredibly alone? I know how you feel. I've been there. I've been homeless. And I want you to know there is hope. In fact, a warm bed and hot meal are just one phone call away. Just call 866-TEEN-911 right now, and you'll be connected to some great people who care greatly about you and are ready to help. Don't wait. Get off the streets. Call 866-TEEN-911 or go to teen911.org right now.
Thank you, Hemlock Public School District, for approving our May 3rd bond election. This approval will make an impact in every classroom, the whole district, and the community, and positively affect every student as we continue to innovate, collaborate, and educate a community of learning with programs from the cradle to college. Call us today at 989-642-5282. That's 642-5282. Or go to hemlockps.com. Hemlock Public Schools. Excellence in education. Enroll today.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
The Tribute to Summer concert series takes center stage at Saginaw Eagles Landing. Don't miss 1964, a recreation of the Beatles' earliest concerts on June 16th, and Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute show on June 30th. All shows are outside in the parking lot on the south side of Worth Road and include $10 free play for adults. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
It's one of Detroit's great annual traditions.
Thank you for joining us as we pay tribute to some of the game's great pioneers.
Calling all HBCU grads and members of the Divine Nine. Don't miss the Negro Leagues tribute game Saturday, June 18th, when the Tigers host the Rangers. Special ticket packages are on sale now, including a game ticket, Negro Leagues tribute t-shirt, and a donation to UNCF and the Detroit HBCU Network. It's the Negro Leagues tribute game, presented by Comerica Bank, Saturday, June 18th at 4:10 p.m. Go to tigers.com/scholarship. No one roots like Detroit roots.
Expand your outdoor living space with landscape blocks from Menards. Get a free estimate instantly with our Design and Buy landscaping program. From patios, retaining walls, fire pits, and more, you can create the landscape of your dreams. Visit a store or menards.com to get started on your next outdoor project today. 16-inch brick face, cobblestone, and lakestone concrete patio blocks are $2.99 each after 11% rebate. Good through June 12th. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, someone's actually defending the guy who tried to kill Brett Kavanaugh. I thought Christine Blasey Ford wanted to stay out of the spotlight.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. You are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, an open edition now, right up through 11 o'clock. So the remainder of this hour and all of next hour, whatever you'd like to chat about. And we're going to find out what Mark has on his mind in Saginaw. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the Smallwoods. You guys talked about them a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
They were very, very interesting to watch. The young Smallwood, his actions, the way he presented himself, and kept his cool considering that he's on national TV was very nice to see.
Well, I'm sure his mother is sitting in an office down the hall here, probably smiling when you say that.
Yes, it was really nice. And to know that not only now Tom is a professional bowler, and you can understand that he wants to teach his son to bowl, and that's great. But he's also teaching him other things, which was nice to hear. He goes hunting. They played 18 holes of golf that day, or the previous day, I guess. Anyway, it's nice to know that he's being a rounded kid, not just getting forced into the one thing his dad's most known for.
Well, knowing the Smallwoods and knowing Tom playing golf, I've played golf with Tom, and he is an outstanding individual who I would expect nothing less than great fatherhood from. And I have to tell you, a great mom too. Jen is a wonderful woman. The kid's lucky.
Yeah.
He was born into a wonderful family. The story that was shown on television in the How We Roll TV series was probably about 10% fact, and the rest, of course, was fiction for television. But because Tom really nothing like that guy, but he's just a down to earth individual who hasn't let anything go to his head, and he's just a great guy, and I can understand how he wants his son to have those qualities, and he's the hero in the family and they look up to him, so he presents himself in that way.
Yep. It was very well done, and if anybody's interested, Fox is replaying it again tonight.
Oh, is that right?
That's on Spectrum 26, Fox Sports channel.
On which channel now?
It's Spectrum 26, which is Fox Sports.
Okay, so yeah, it depends where you live, what channel that is. But yeah,
right.
So it's on Fox Sports tonight.
That's
Fox
right.
Sports 1 or Fox Sports, the main channel?
I believe it's the main channel.
Oh, very good. What time do you know?
I believe it's at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay, you got a little help in the background. Good. That's good.
Yeah, the wife's listening in.
Well, Mark, listen, first of all, I'm sure Jen sitting down the hall is very appreciative of your comments, and I know Tom would be too.
Well, very good. It was enjoyable.
Well, we're glad you liked it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye now. It's for those of you that don't know and had no idea who we're talking about, Tom Smallwood. His story was made public back in 2000, I don't know, I want to say 8, maybe a little earlier, somewhere around there. He was laid off from General Motors and had always been a bowler. done very well and decided that he would turn professional and give it a run to see if he could make a living at it. Within a year, he had won the World Series of bowling and has placed very highly in others and won some other tournaments and been on television and all of that, and is a professional bowler of some note. And his story was such that Brian Darcy James, who is the great actor from Saginaw, had wanted to tell the story and sold the idea to CBS, who produced an 11-episode series called The Way We Roll that just ran. And you can find it, by the way, if you have On Demand on your cable system, for example, you can find it. If you look under CBS, it'll be listed there. And it's a heartwarming story. Maybe not quite the way they told it, because they kind of take a lot of liberties. But it's a heartwarming story. It really is. And these are wonderful people who deserve all the accolades that they receive. So, I was thrilled that he would call up and mention that. We appreciate it. All right. Quick break. We'll be back with more. Again, open phones, whatever you want to talk about. There's a prime example of it.
Spring is finally here. Grass is green, the flowers are pretty, and there's only one thing to mar this picture: the annual task of scraping and painting your old garage door. Well, get back to enjoying spring with a new garage door and opener from the pros at M&R Garage Door. M&R Garage Doors can install your new door or opener professionally, and M&R has trained staff to stand behind their work. M&R can also professionally repair any brand or any size garage door or garage door opener. M&R has a garage door for every style and every budget. And remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is the specialty.
Spring is finally here and exterior projects have begun. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating. Stop in for time-saving advice and products like Ready Seal Stains, a goof-proof wood sealer, and stain finish for fences, decks, pergolas, and more. Ask about our solar screen shades that protect your interior finishes and budget from UV rays and the hot sun. As always, design consultations are available. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
Bill G. Schutte is prepared to be our next state representative. Bill was born and raised in mid-Michigan and graduated from local public schools. Bill served our country as an intelligence officer with the Defense Intelligence Agency in Mexico and the Middle East, working to help the fight against terrorists and Mexican drug cartels. He returned home to work for Dow. And now, Bill G. Schutte is running for state representative. With Biden inflation hitting us hard, Bill is fighting for lower taxes, so you have more money in your wallet. Bill is fighting for parents and their right to have a seat at the table in their children's education. And Bill G. Schutte is a conservative Republican, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and a strong supporter of law enforcement.
This is Bill G. Schutte. I brief generals at home and overseas. I can stand up for you in Lansing. I ask for your vote on August 2nd, the Republican primary.
Paid for by Bill G. Schutte for state representative.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Straight Talk Wireless knows there are plenty of reasons you might need a new phone. But switching to a better wireless provider doesn't have to be one of them. Keep your own phone and save when you switch to any Straight Talk Wireless plan, like our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot, plus nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Keep your own phone. Switch to a better wireless plan. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and Walmart.com. Requires a compatible unlocked phone and QIOP kit. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See latest terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver packages fast and affordably, so you can give your customers what they want when they need it. We're delivering for one-stop shops, mom and pops, pop-ups, startups, retail, wholesale, large scale, small biz, big box, customers, customizers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/delivering.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Lines open for you, whatever you'd like to chat about. I don't know if you heard our discussion this morning during the morning team show, but Pat Johnson had done a little research on oil prices and how high they had gotten, and those prices back then versus inflationary prices today. I'm not going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about oil prices peaking because an oil minister from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, said that oil prices are nowhere near peak. So if you're going out to the gas station and you see $5.18, $5.19 gas prices and you're waiting for them to come down, unless something happens at the state level where they get rid of the gas taxes for the time being, as they've been talking about, don't look for a respite from high gas prices. And the question is why he says that. Why doesn't he believe prices are going to come down? Well, because China's economy has been soft. As China's economy returns back to some normal level, if it does, it will increase demand. And because motorists haven't been driving as much during the pandemic, a lot of people were working from home, weren't driving as much, demand was soft. And as that demand comes back online, it puts increased pressure on the supply and demand side of gasoline and oil prices. So he expects, as the economies return to some normal level, there will be a greater demand on oil, and thus the price rises. Now, I didn't hear him say that to counter that, production may rise, because OPEC can control the amount of oil they pump out. And we just heard Saudi Arabia, I think it was last week, said they're going to increase production by 695,000 barrels a day or something like that. So they have the capability of meeting the demand. But as the demand increases, he says don't expect the price to come down any. Let's talk to John in Freeland. John, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Art.
Good morning.
Art, I got a couple questions for you. First of all, that piece of dog crap from Texas, the guy that murdered that family of, I believe it was 5.
Mm-hmm.
He was an escapee from the prison.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I was just hoping maybe if you would know, I wonder, is he a citizen of the United States, or could he by chance maybe be one of our people that came across the border?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I never heard of either way on that. It baffled.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I wondered if maybe you had heard anything on it.
And either way, he's a piece of junk.
He certainly is.
I don't care what his background is,
Yeah, he needs to. Well, they need to do something to deter it, because what we've been doing now by imprisoning people for these capital crimes just doesn't work. Down in.
They do have the death penalty in Texas.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that. We could talk about all of the penalties you want. When somebody goes out and does a crime like that, do you really think in their mind they're worried that they may get caught and face that penalty? No, of course not. They wouldn't do it if they did. The reality is, we talk about deterrence, and yes, it will deter deter the person who's a sane thinker and thinks about it ahead of time? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is it going to deter the criminal who really doesn't care? Not a
Well,
chance.
You know, I half agree with that, Art, but like down to Oxford, we absolutely know that kid went in and murdered them kids in the school. Why not? Why it'll be 3 years before he even gets to trial, if that soon. And why don't we just? I feel like if we got the drop on you like that and have the goods, I think that punishment should be swift, and maybe it would have made that guy in Texas in Uvalde. Maybe it would have thought.
Yeah, I hear you, but the way the laws are set up in this country, you know, you all deserve a right, including you and me. We deserve a right if we are accused, even if you know we did it. We have a right. We have a right to a defense, and if you take away one person's right, no matter how negative an opinion you have of them, you take away his right, you take away your right. So it's, you know, it's a catch-22. Yeah, justice has a way of moving slowly. I agree. I would love to see swift punishment. But the reality is that's the way our system is set up. But for the most part, it works pretty well every day.
Yes, it does.
We hear about the failures because they make the news, obviously.
Yep.
And how to fix those problems should be the subject of a lot of discussion.
Yep.
But for the most part, the system works well, and you'd want it to work for you if you found yourself in a negative position.
Yeah, I suppose so, Art. You know,
it's the old adage, we all hate lawyers until we need one.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same
and
thing.
That's who makes out the most on all this, unfortunately. And
well, it's not an easy job, I'll tell you that. Being the product of one, my father was a lawyer, but he worked for the government. But the fact was that, he would tell me all the time, he says, people love to hate us, but the reality is it's not an easy job.
Yep. I have used one at one time. So,
so haven't we all,
Exactly.
Even if it's for positive stuff, simple wills, trusts, and things of that nature, you still you need that competency, and it costs money.
Yep. Another thing, Art, that just puzzles me to pieces is our election here for our governor in this state here with that Johnson and the fella from Detroit, the retired police officer.
Craig.
Yeah. You mean to tell me, especially that Johnson, I had heard that he contributed a lot of money from his own pocketbook.
He did. He bought his own ads.
Yep. You mean to tell me that man didn't know that he had 15,000 signatures and that some of them supposedly were not valid?
Here's the lesson to be learned from this. And that is, as a candidate, you need to have responsibility and you need to check on these things. They don't. They hire these companies and they say, go do it. In the same way they're advertising. They hire advertising agencies who specialize in that kind of advertising. And even though at the end they say, well, we've approved this ad, guess what? Hey, I got to go. I just looked at the clock. I'm late. We'll talk more. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with more after these notes.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
When you think spring, you think spring cleaning, spring fever, and spring projects. Let Capoco Community Credit Union make the spring projects part easy with a Visa home equity line of credit secured by the credit in your home. With low draw period payments, 15 years to repay, and possible tax savings, this will make that new landscaping or home remodel way less stressful. So you can focus on giving your home the TLC it needs. So when you think spring, think Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org. Member NCUA.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
All right, that'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We will be back with open phones and give you a chance again to talk about whatever's on your mind. News coming up first. We have news from CBS, the National and International Report. Michael Percha is in the WSGW newsroom to bring you up to date on the region and the state. And then we'll be back to talk more with you on the Art Lewis Show.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We have breaking news from the world of golf. The PGA commissioner has just announced members will no longer be eligible to play tour events if they're playing in the new Saudi-funded league in London that teed off today. They include Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, and 15 others. Americans can tune in tonight for January 6th TV. Lawmakers investigating the insurrection at the Capitol will hold a prime time hearing. They promise never before seen or heard information. CBS's Robert Costa asked Virginia Democrat Elaine Luria,
will this committee break through?
I certainly think so. I think that the depth, the breadth, the severity of this attempt to undermine our government, I think that it will break through.
Republicans say the investigation is stilted and partisan. Here's correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
They say that the committee wasn't properly formed because Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected the list of Republicans who were offered by the Republican leader to sit on the committee. What Nancy Pelosi did do is she seated 2 Republicans, the only 2 who are essentially willing to serve.
CBS News has learned yesterday's military crash in the Southern California desert was deadly. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
4 of the 5 Marines on this Osprey were killed. It went down yesterday in a remote area more than 100 miles from San Diego. The Marines were based at Camp Pendleton. This is an aircraft that takes off and lands vertically like a helicopter, but flies like a plane.
Cause of the crash is under investigation. 40 years after her parents were murdered in rural Houston, their daughter, a baby at the time, has been found alive. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office says genetic profiles helped them locate Holly Marie Klaus. She's a mother of 5 now who lives in Oklahoma. We're expecting more details at a news conference later today. This will be day 2 of President Biden's Summit of the Americas. CBS's Steve Futterman is in Los Angeles.
One of the president's meetings today could be very awkward. Mr. Biden is set to meet with Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro. The two have never spoken. Bolsonaro has long expressed skepticism over Mr. Biden's 2020 election victory. And this year, just days before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Bolsonaro said he was in solidarity with Russia.
New York City politician Jimmy McMillan made headlines more than a decade ago when he formed a single-issue party.
The rent is too damn high.
Did he know just how high rents would soar? Douglas Elliman's newly released May rental market report shows the median price of an apartment in Manhattan has hit the $4,000 mark for the first time. That's more than 25% higher than last year. Dow up 24. This is CBS News.
Need hires who dazzle without the hassle? You need Indeed. Their powerful platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV,
you can't be all work and not play.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer. At the United States Postal Service, we deliver with advanced technology and equipment so we can reach over 160 million addresses across the country. We're delivering for thinkers, doers, movers, shakers, groundbreakers, future makers, innovators, trailblazers, disruptors, streamers, dreamers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at usps.com/delivering.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies, 61 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Fire crews in Midland responded to a house fire last night around 5 o'clock. The fire occurred in the 200 block of Morning and Meadow Way. Fire crews responded where there was a kitchen fire. A disabled person was inside and unable to get out of the house. Crews forced open the door and found heavy smoke conditions before transporting the victim from her home. Fire was quickly brought under control and damage was contained to the kitchen area, but there was heavy smoke and heat damage throughout the home. Fire officials have ruled the fire accidental. A woman escaped serious injury after her vehicle erupted into flames following a crash in Saginaw Township on Tuesday. The crash occurred between two vehicles during the late afternoon on Hemmeter near McCarty. Police say a woman in one of the vehicles was trapped inside with a broken leg. Passersby who stopped to help were able to remove the woman from the vehicle as it caught fire. The driver of the second vehicle received minor injuries. The woman was treated at a local hospital. The crash remains under investigation. The Saginaw Township Police Department is holding its annual awards program this evening. 27 police officers and 2 civilians will receive awards during the ceremony. Those include the Officer of the Year, which will be presented to Officer Brendan Wilson, and the Courageous Service Award, which will go to Officers Glenn Hill and Leon Wilson. The program starts at 6 p.m. in the Heritage High School auditorium. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Better insights lead to better crop outcomes. AGI's suite of digital technologies, Farm Mobile, Bin Manager, SureTrack, and Hazmon give growers, ag retailers, and their valued ag partners affordable, customizable solutions that deliver unparalleled visibility, automation, safety, efficiency, and control over the crop from field, fleet, and bin. Get more out of every acre with AGI Digital. Visit aggrowth.com/digital. At AGI, we take bin safety seriously. With AGI Bin Manager, growers know exactly what's happening in bins without stepping onto a ladder. Monitor grain temperature and moisture right from your smartphone. AGI Bin Manager is fully automated, meaning you don't have to return to the bin to turn anything on or off. With advanced algorithms to optimize fans and heaters, you can trust your hard-earned harvest will be in condition when it's time to sell. Find AGI Bin Manager at aggrowth.com/digital.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Following an in-depth assessment of the area, the governor has requested President Joe Biden declare a major disaster for Otsego County. The request will be reviewed by FEMA, who will advise the president about the damage caused by the EF3 tornado that hit Gaylord last month. If federal aid is granted, assistance can include grants for temporary housing and home repairs, low-cost loans to cover uninsured property losses, and other programs to help people and businesses recover from the effects of the tornado. The governor says a presidential declaration would open up additional federal resources necessary to help the Gaylord community recover. Following hours of testimony from survivors of recent mass shootings, the House Judiciary Committee voting for gun legislation yesterday, Michigan News Network's Aaron V. has this report.
A marquee piece of legislation clearing the chamber, a package of bills called the Protecting Our Kids Act, seeking to tighten gun restrictions. Do you feel like it's going to solve the problem?
No, sadly not. And sadly, this is a predictable routine that happens whenever these tragedies strike.
Brendan Boudreau with Great Lakes Gun Rights says there is a problem in this country that needs to be addressed, but knee-jerk reactions without the facts and calls for gun control from politicians, it's not the solution.
They get caught up in the media fervor. They get caught up in wanting to look like they're doing something. And this is what politicians always do. They feel like they have to do something. They feel like they have to be doing something. They constantly have to be doing something instead of, taking a measured approach.
Some of the key provisions in the reform package: raising the minimum age to purchase a semi-automatic weapon, banning high-capacity magazines, and stricter requirements for gun storage.
Legislation which would allow swim-up bars at hotels in Michigan is headed to the governor's desk. The bills were approved in the state Senate yesterday. Supporters say the legislation will allow local businesses to fill a void in the Michigan tourism industry that hotels and other attractions in other states are offering. There are safety guidelines like serving beverages in non-breakable containers and providing lifeguard services in those bills. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms here for today, with partial sunshine developing and a high in the mid-70s. Winds out of the west of 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Then for tonight, a slight chance for rain showers early on, decreasing cloud cover, a low near 52. Friday, a slight chance for rain showers here late. Blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high of 76. Then by Saturday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high of 76. Sunday, chance for showers and storms, cloudy skies, a high around 75 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 64.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Delighted to have you with us this morning. It's an open hour, whatever you'd like to chat about. But we're going to start out having a conversation about something we just learned about just before the news this morning. An announcement came down from the Commissioner of Golf that those PGA members that have decided to play in the new Saudi LIV League will no longer be eligible to play in PGA events. And I've asked Pat Johnson to step in and offer up his words of wisdom about it this morning. And I'm not surprised. Whoops. There we go. Try that. I don't know. Go ahead. Talk again. How about I push the buttons? Now
there we are. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I had the wrong ones pushed.
No problem. No, I think the PGA they didn't have a choice. I think this is what they have to do.
They have to protect themselves.
They do.
It's a sport that has survived for many, many, many decades with very, very little controversy. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, and this is nothing more than money hungry.
Oh, of course.
All of a sudden they're faced with this challenge from Saudi Arabia and this new league. And there was a story the other day. Tiger Woods turned down almost $1 billion
right.
to play in that league. Tiger, you just boosted your image 1,000% in my book.
Yeah. No, I absolutely. And he helped. Let's face it, Tiger helped build the PGA to what it is today.
Absolutely.
I think he's got a lot invested in that. A lot of this is money, and I understand. Look, I understand, boy, that instead of having to play 4 rounds, that you'd have to just play 3 rounds, no drug testing, and a lot of money out there that the Saudi League is throwing out there. I get it. I understand it. Here's what I don't get, Art. And I know that you got the human rights issues and all that. Although we talked about this the other day. Well, golf and other sports, I think, have some questionable dealings with other governments across the world, right?
Yeah.
So
Nothing
that's
unusual.
one thing. But why, as a golfer, if you're Justin Johnson, do you say, you know what? I want to compete and I want to defeat just a couple of the best. I don't want to take on all the best anymore. Really? Wow. That just says that tells that doesn't make sense. That does make sense. I would always want to take on, in my sport, in my profession, I would always want to go mano a mano against the best and prove that I am the best.
I would agree with you.
And it's not like they're going to starve. They're still making a lot of money.
Making millions.
Yes.
And they make more in their endorsement agreements than they make on the course.
Right.
Which brings up the question, are they going to lose some of those endorsement deals playing in this new league too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they will.
But, it's unfortunate that money has become the dominant factor in all of these things. And I just am saddened that some of these people put aside principle for the dollar.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
And I tell you what,
a lot of people do.
I'm serious about Tiger Woods. He just went up in my evaluation 1,000%.
Oh yeah, that's right. We know Jack Nicklaus was also approached.
He was another one. Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't do it either. So and you've got a lot of players who aren't going forward with this.
And Phil Mickelson all of a sudden became the mouthpiece for this because he couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Right.
But he said the other day, "Oh well, I'll still play in 4 majors."
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
You might play in the U.S. Open because that's a USGA event.
True. Right.
But, but other than that, goodbye, guys.
You're right. And that's
now you're going to find out how much your American audience meant to you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And again, I think the PGA Tour, they had no choice. You have to put the clamps down on this if you want to protect your brand and you want to protect your sport. It's complete. I'm surprised they didn't come down with this earlier. It's almost though I think they planned it. They were waiting for these guys to tee off today and in the very first round of this new league, and that's when they made their announcement.
And it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Catch them right at the peak. That makes sense to me. And I think they were waiting to see who actually was going to go do this.
Right.
They really wondered, is it just going to be a one-mouth Nicholson's out there?
Yeah.
And who Greg Norman.
Yeah.
But
did I hear Bryson DeChambeau's name thrown out there?
I did, but I don't remember how I heard it.
Did
he say he was playing?
I don't think he has. I think there's been speculation. He hasn't. He's not playing in whatever.
I heard his name in the story though, but I don't remember what they said about it. I wasn't paying attention. So.
Yeah. So,
well, anyway,
I have to say this too about Phil. I always had a soft spot for Phil, and I would cheer for him. If Tiger wasn't around, I'd always cheer for. Always cheer for Phil. Always did. But I started some of his antics started to grow old on me. Do you remember last year in the Rocket Mortgage Classic? Was it or 2 years ago when he said that he'll come back to Detroit if the people are nicer to him? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, where's this coming from, Phil? What is this about? Come on.
His mouth has got him in trouble once.
It has, right. And I think we now see why he and Tiger maybe never really saw eye to eye on a lot of things. And we're the closest.
Now they're far apart.
Yeah, now they are. Yeah.
All right, good enough. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks, Pat. And let's talk to Errol here on the phones. Good morning, Errol.
You want to be wound up this morning?
Do I want to be wound up this morning? I'm already wound up this morning. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the environment. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Can you explain to me how we caused Michigan to be covered with 4 or 5 miles of ice at one time? Did we cause that?
That was called the Ice Age.
Yeah, right. I'm a firm believer that the planet itself goes through this every 100,000 years or so.
Oh, I agree.
And there is no one alive back 100,000 years ago that caused all this crap that we're going through with the environment right now.
Well, let me put it out this way, Earl, and see how you feel about this. And this is the way I've said it all along. Can we as humans affect the planet? Well, the answer is obviously yes. Of course we can, because the planet 150 years ago didn't have mass transportation, automobiles, and all those things, and airplanes and trains pumping out what we pump out. To what degree are we responsible is the subject of discussion, because I do believe that we have some minor impact in the climate, but I believe Mother Nature has a much bigger impact, and I do believe that we're coming to the end of an ice age, or in the peak of the opposite, which is causing a lot of this. I don't think it's solely on our shoulders.
Well, I would agree with you, but we've got ourselves convinced that it's bad to pump oil, to drill for oil.
Yeah,
and we're living like we're in the 1800s. That every time you turn around, someone is raising the price of oil. I think this country's got as much oil as any place on the planet, and we ought to be pumping it. We shouldn't be worrying about, we may affect the grass a little bit.
Well, if we pumped it and kept it to ourselves, not put it on the world market and not dependent on the world market price, we would, I think, be better off in the long run.
You think? We're worried about everyone else on this planet, how they feel about us. I don't give a damn how they feel about us. We didn't get to be the size
but
we are.
the problem with that is that we have become a global marketplace, and you do have to worry about how others feel about you, because it does impact your economy today, whether you like it or not. We are a global society.
It's affecting our economy because of what we're going through right now with the price of oil.
I understand that,
and this environmental BS, and we're paying almost $6, probably higher in some places, for gas when it's not necessary.
Yep.
I mean, we have all the oil we need in this country, but no, we got to worry about the grass growing and the leaves falling and all that stuff. And we quit worrying about the people that live here.
Yeah.
And it's time we get rid of that nonsense and go back to how we got to be the way we are.
All right,
you
Earl.
think the ones that come up with the steel and the cars and that worried about the environment? I don't think so, sir.
Well, but should they have? Should they have? I mean, let's face it, there is some impact. We can't ignore the fact that there is some impact. To what degree that impact is, that's a whole other question. All right, I got to run.
Okay.
I got to take a break.
See you later, sir.
All right, take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye now. We'll be back. Get to Howard when we return.
The Tribute to Summer concert series takes center stage at Saginaw Eagles Landing. Don't miss 1964, a recreation of the Beatles' earliest concerts on June 16th, and Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute show on June 30th. All shows are outside in the parking lot on the south side of Worth Road and include $10 free play for adults. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Carla's retiring early next month. We're all going to have to learn to pick up the slack.
The dessert making role at Sawyer's restaurant, deserted.
Tom, if you can handle beignets.
They need a new pastry chef who can souffle like it's a piece of
Come on,
cake.
guys, we got a line out the door. How much longer for those croissants?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Futures pointed to a higher opening, but Wall Street comes out of the gate in red territory after the Labor Department reported first-time jobless claims hit their highest level since mid-January. 229,000 Americans filed initial claims last week, up by 27,000 from the prior week. Oil prices hovering around $122 a barrel, and gas prices hit another record high, inching closer to $5 a gallon. AAA reporting the national average for a gallon of regular is $4.97. That's up by $1.87 from a year ago. The Biden administration preparing to roll out COVID-19 vaccine shots for children under the age of 5, pending approval from regulators. Vaccinations for little kids could begin as soon as June 21st if the FDA authorizes shots from Pfizer and Moderna. Senior administration officials say 10 million doses will be ready to go. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Steve Rappaport, invested in you.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Rising home values mean that you could have more home equity than you might imagine. And if you're considering a refi, an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot could save you thousands. Ask about their smart term loans, cash out, and over 300 loan options to find just the right mortgage loan for you. Call now, 866-888-LOAN, or go to loandepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll in the aftermath of the recent multiple shootings that are happening at schools and other locations. President Biden urging Congress to finally do something about gun control, including passing red flag laws. Democrats and Republicans are divided on what to do, but these red flag laws at least seem to be one area of discussion that both are talking about. Red flag laws, which would allow courts to remove firearms from people deemed a danger to themselves or others. Many Democrats are supporting red flag laws, but want additional controls attached. Several Republican lawmakers, certainly not all, are open to the red flag laws, with no attachments though. In fact, the Republican-led state of Florida did pass a red flag law 4 years ago, for example. Poll question is, what do you say about red flag laws related to gun discussions? Do you think we need a federal red flag law? Do you think that individual states should decide for themselves on red flag laws? Do you not support red flag laws at all? Or you're not sure? You can vote. Head to WSW.com. You scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. Back to our phones. Howard is in Bay City. Howard, good morning.
Good morning, Art and Pat. Just calling on the Phil Mickelson deal that's going down.
Yeah.
Pat was right. He won't be playing. Those guys won't be playing the best in the world. And also, in America, if you watch, they rely on a gallery. Some of those galleries over there, there's like 62 people on the whole course with some of the best golfers in the world. You know what I mean? Now there's no gallery for them. You know, you might be, I mean, if you ever watched it, it's like, how can they make a living? But the sponsors and the Emirates are putting in the cash.
Yeah, well, I think depending where these tournaments are played, you have to be honest about it. Depending where these tournaments are played, that's liable to change.
That's true.
And it depends who's on the course, too. I mean, you know, if enough of the PGA guys go over, they're going to get the galleries. That would be a shame for the PGA, though, because the PGA has been a great organization and done very, very well for these golfers. And it's all about money, you know. I mean, they're just getting greedy.
Yep. And also, I don't know if you or Pat ever heard, Mickelson hasn't played any golf tournaments in the last 15, 20 tournament.
No, I know it because he's been afraid to show up, I think.
Yeah, I heard that. Not just afraid. There was he was fearing for his life on the golf course. In other words,
I think that's an
that's probably an
exaggeration to a
urban
degree.
myth or legend, but
yeah,
and hey, he's getting long in the tooth, anyways. I mean, that's great, you know. I mean,
well, it's not like he doesn't have any money in the bank. I mean, you know, so it's you know,
he's got it going on. But you know,
I'm going to be curious though, what really is going to be the tail of the whole thing here is what happens to their endorsements. A lot of these companies are going to say, hey, wait a minute, you're not going to have the audience. We're not going to pay you that much, you know, or we're not going to pay you at all. You know, it's going to be interesting to see if they lose those big endorsements they all have, because that's what they live on. I mean, you know, it's fine to
a pharmaceutical.
you know, and IMG and all those people. I mean, let's face it, they make a fortune on endorsements.
Yeah.
And, they don't put those names on their hats and shirts and bags and all of that for nothing.
Right.
So
I just look at it. Hey, great things given to people. Great things are expected from them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Well, thanks, Howard. And God bless everybody. Talk to you later.
Same to you. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. And we'll move over and talk to Carol in Sheridan. Carol, good morning.
Good morning. Long time no talk.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things have ruffled my feathers, so it's better to keep my mouth shut. Well, it is. And as far as Mickelson, he was in trouble with taxes and things. He didn't pay a few years ago, too, and you never heard much about how he come out on that, too. He's pretty crooked, I think. Anyway, well, the gentleman ruffled my feathers a little bit. I'm not caring about the environment. Maybe if he hasn't got grandchildren, that would be better for them. As far as the oil that's just what they want, is people to say, well, you know, don't worry about anything. We'll just screw up all your stuff and be happy about it. That's what they're looking for. But, you know, I got a Canadian lilac, and almost, 4 or 5 years ago, that Canadian lilac just attracted all kinds of butterflies and bees. We have a black locust tree, and it was full of honey. When it flowers, it's just full of honeybees. And the swallowtails and the giant swallowtails and the painted ladies love that. We had none. I think we had one. We've got some great big bumblebees. They're huge. And there was one swallowtail and that whole thing. Now, this is not good. It might sound dumb, but still, we must care about the environment and our bees and our soil.
So let me ask you a question, Carol. Let me ask you a question. Is that tree thriving?
Not all that great. It's not that the bees. There's not bees in it, and you know we kind of depend on bees.
I understand that, but that's why I'm asking. You know, are there enough bees to keep that tree going? Apparently so.
Well, the bees ain't going to keep that black locust. That ain't going to matter to that black locust if there's bees in it. Mm-hmm. That don't affect the tree any. Yeah. It affects the cherries and the apples and all the things that need pollinated, but not that huge black locust tree. But when these farmers put that stuff on it, everything that chews it dies. This is not good. And, you know, they tout it as being so great, but nobody seems to care about the soil and what we're doing to our things. It might sound just trivial, but it really isn't. And if people like to eat, they better think about some of these things.
Well, I got news for you. Farmers are thinking about it because there's been a lot of changes in how they do things. They think about it because it also affects them.
Well, yeah, but as long as, you know, well, yeah, but still, everything when you put on something, everything that chews that leaf dies. But then we continue to eat the corn. Well, now, if everything that chews on them corn leaves die, and then we eat the corn, maybe we ought to think about that.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever died from eating corn? I never have.
I don't
It's always
know.
Been good. Well, you do know you're still alive. Of course you know. All right, Carol.
So maybe that's how I got the vertigo, is from eating this corn that's been sprayed.
There you go.
Which is really fun. I'm telling you, I went around for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Vertigo is no fun.
That's nasty crap. But,
all right.
don't ignore all these things.
All right.
We got to think
Good
about them
enough.
a little bit. So
Good enough.
take care of you
Thanks,
guys.
dear. Bye-bye
Yeah,
now.
bye.
And let's talk to Ken in Midland. Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I'm going to take this in a totally different direction.
I'm holding on.
Well, it's gonna. It's you're the instigator of it in a way. You love Easy Pass, I believe.
Yes.
Well, let me give you my example or my experience with Easy Pass. First of all, I have no Easy Pass account. But
Okay.
about 5 years ago, I got a letter from the state of Massachusetts that I owed them money and I should pay through Easy Pass because I'd gone down a road or over a bridge.
And they got your license.
And they had my license. They had a black and white picture of a vehicle.
Yep.
And so I called them up and explained to them that was not my vehicle. A couple of years later, I get two letters from state of New York that I've gone down a road or over a bridge in New York.
Which you haven't done is what you're saying, right? You never were there.
Never was there.
Okay.
Then last year I got it from the state of Florida.
Really?
Yep.
How'd you get so lucky?
Well, it's a SUV, a picture of the back end of an SUV with a license plate. The numbers are exactly the same as on my one vehicle, but I have explained to them all that they need to look at the
state of issue.
Well, it says Michigan on it.
Oh, it does?
But But I have explained to them that, yes, I have a license plate with that number, but the colors are different. It's located differently on this vehicle. The vehicle that it is on is a pickup and has Chevrolet across the tailgate in big, bold letters, white against a dark green background.
So I have to wonder if somebody's driving with a forged plate so they can get away with driving for free and you get the bills.
Well, I sent a letter or an email to the Secretary of State's office. That was over a month ago. I still have not heard back from them. And I asked my state rep a couple of weeks ago about it to try and figure out what's going on. Can the state give the same license plate number to different plates?
No. The answer is no. So the question is, how did it happen and who's got it? And that's in this day and age, unfortunately, everybody's looking for, not everybody, that's a bad thing to say, but there are those looking to take advantage and figure out ways to do it. And who knows where that plate was made and who took it.
Well, it looks, looking at the photo, it looks like a real state of Michigan license plate.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the one on my pickup is a historical plate of the 1953 Chevy pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told them, told all three states, there's no way that pickup's been in those states.
It's amazing. You're going to have to continue to pursue it because it's obviously it's not good that these states keep thinking you're the bad guy here. So you got to pursue it. And I would stay on top of my local rep, and on the Secretary of State. I wouldn't lay off of them. And if I absolutely had to, it might be worth a few bucks to get a lawyer to write some letters.
Well, they have not. When I respond to them, I tell them to just go, delve further into that license plate, and they'll find out.
Yeah, all right.
Based on my name, that it's not the vehicle that they've got.
Good enough.
Picture of.
Good luck with it. Good luck with it.
For Carol's benefit, I have a bunch of redbud trees in my yard, and the bees this spring were as prevalent as ever.
Glad to hear it. All right, I got to take a break. Good luck, Ken. Appreciate it. Scott, hang on. You're going to be next, uninterrupted, coming up on the Art Lewis Show.
Spring is finally here. The grass is green, the flowers are pretty, and there's only one thing to mar this picture: the annual task of scraping and painting your old garage door. Well, get back to enjoying spring with a new garage door and opener from the pros at M&R Garage Door. M&R Garage Doors can install your new door or opener professionally, and M&R has trained staff to stand behind their work. M&R can also professionally repair any brand or any size garage door or garage door opener. M&R has a garage door for every style and every budget. And remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is the specialty.
A 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly to you if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid early distribution penalties from the IRS and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Is your home filled with tension and drama? Are you feeling uneasy and thinking you just want to disappear? Maybe just run away? I know how you feel. I've been there. And I want you to know there's a place to turn to for help. Help is just one phone call away. Call 866-TEEN-911 right now and you will be connected to some people who care about you and are ready to help. Don't wait. Get help today. Call 866-TEEN-911 or go to teen911.org right now.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
For over 20 years, you have known Sunrise Awnings as the home of the shady deal. Living in Michigan, we are always looking for ways to spend more time outdoors, especially now. Sunrise Awnings provides homeowners that opportunity to expand their living space with Sunsetter or Summer Space Awnings. Enjoy family and friends, protected from the sun, rain, and heat. Call Sunrise Awnings today to take advantage of that outdoor lifestyle you enjoy. Check us out at sunriseawnings.net. Get the most out of your patio and deck with a retractable awning from Sunrise Awnings.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back here on WSGW, and Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning to you.
Hey, morning, Art. Hey, after listening to the news here the last few days, I really can't help but think that a lot of this stuff that is happening in America is an orchestrated attack. I know it sounds conspiracy, but I look back at when Barack Obama was running for president. He said, America has been at the top long enough. It's time another nation gets that honor. As soon as he became president, we went into a recession. Rahm Emanuel, one of his senior advisors, said, you never want to waste a good crisis. So bringing it up to today, everywhere I turn, Art, we have a gas crisis, we have an energy crisis, we have a solar crisis, we have a child crisis, baby formula crisis, everything's a crisis. And what it is, to me, is these people are trying to control the masses using fear. We have lack, we have necessities that we can't get anymore. And to me, I really do. I believe this is almost an orchestrated attack.
I'm only going to partially agree. Yeah, they've used fear. I don't think they've set about to ruin the country. I think that if they do that, they lose too. So I think that what they're out for is power. I would grant you that. But I don't think they've created all these crises just to control us and do that. I do believe the fear game a little bit, but in this global world we live in now, there are so many other things at play that it's almost difficult to isolate yourself.
It might be true, but let's look at the baby formula crisis. We heard it reported that the FDA and them found out last February, but now we're finding out, no, it wasn't last February. It was the year before. So the FBI or the FDA already knew this was going to happen. And what did our wonderful administration do? Nothing, Art.
Well, I know they could have. Hindsight's 20/20, Scott. They could have done a lot more. No two ways about it. Well, but they didn't orchestrate it.
Right, but they knew that this was going to happen, and what did they do? Nothing. They allowed a crisis to happen. They allowed it, and now they're going, oh, my God, your babies can't get food. We need to pass the bill back better.
Yeah, I know, because they think they can use it to their advantage. I understand that.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I don't go as far as saying they create the crises. They don't react to them. Yeah. We'll agree to disagree on that one, Scott.
Well, wait a minute. Let's look at the border real quick. We had a pretty secure thing going at the end of Donald Trump. What did the Democrats
I give you
do?
that.
They dismantled it.
Yeah, I give you that. But not. I think they did it for a different reason than you were thinking.
Well, but it created a problem.
Yeah.
Let's look at the energy crisis. We were energy independent. Now we no longer are. They created a crisis.
Yeah, well, because they have this. They have this mentality that it's green everything, green, the new Green Deal, and that's they move in that direction, and that's causing us problems. No two ways about it. But I don't know that it's causing crises, no doubt about it. But it's they don't wake up in the morning and say to themselves, let's see how we can screw the American public. They wake up in the morning trying to get their agenda across, which in my view and your view, they are screwing the American public. But that's,
right. Well, yeah, because they don't have the good of America at heart. Well, I mean, you got your AOCs and them. That woman doesn't love America. She can't find anything good to say about this country.
Look, I don't like her, and I don't like her mouth, and I don't like what she says. But we are a country of multiple opinions, and we disagree with a lot of them.
We are. Well, remember what Barack Obama said too, that they want to fundamentally dismantle America. That's what they're doing. They're fundamentally
that's not happening. It's not going to happen. The American public. No, it isn't. The American public will react, and they'll react in the midterms, and they'll react in the presidential election. They only take it so far, and then the American public gets up on their haunches and says, "Enough's enough." It's happened time and time again in this country, and it'll happen again.
Well, I hope it does come back. I mean, we got people over there trying to kill. I hope so, but I mean, we got people now trying to kill Kavanaugh, Democratic Party, but nobody on the left.
Not people, a person.
He's Democrat because ain't no Republican.
It doesn't matter what he is, but
him.
You said people. He's a person.
Well, he's a person who identifies as a Democrat, and I don't hear any Democrats who identify as Democrats criticizing what he was going to do. All they say is, well, we don't want violence.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't want violence to you.
But then again, he doesn't represent the whole party. He represents himself. He's a wacko. He's a wacko he was a wacko who luckily came to his senses and called the cops on himself.
Well,
so there you Democrat. Go. All right. Take care.
All right,
Gotta go,
I'll
Scott.
talk to you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll be back with more. Hang on.
I'm the first nurse in my family. I started at Wellspring as a certified nursing assistant. And then I went on to nursing. And as I was in my nursing classes, Wellspring, they helped in any type of way, even with the nurses that were in the facility. They assisted with knowledge and passing things down that sometimes you don't learn in the classroom. It's been a great experience at Wellspring. I'm proud of being a nurse.
Join our team today. Visit wellspringlutheran.com.
Compromise is nice if you're at the playground or scouring yard sales. But farmers know better that middle grounds have no winner. That's why there's Revitec fungicide, fast-acting and long-lasting, preventative and curative, disease control and stress reduction. So leave the settling to little Tommy at the seesaw, an old bargain bill, and take your full prize in yields with Revitec fungicide for uncompromised performance. Always read and follow label directions.
Rob tried to manage his constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating day after day. After realizing it was irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, he found another way and finally said yes to adding Linzess.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Moments like watching my grandson steal second mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, someone's actually defending the guy who tried to kill Brett Kavanaugh. I thought Christine Blasey Ford wanted to stay out of the spotlight.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and let's talk to Mark in Midland. Mark, good morning. Mark, there you go. Go ahead.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks.
Hey, I'm having some trouble this month with the Pride month that is out there for the whole month. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with Bob or Neil and Bob, or Bob and Neil that got together, and how do I celebrate? And most people celebrate their marriage one day. The Independence Day, I get to shoot off a firework, grill a hot dog for people that have lost their lives across America for our independence. But they get the Gay Pride gets a whole month to celebrate, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to do a single solitary thing.
Well, why does Gay Pride get a whole month to celebrate? And there's wars that were fought across the street.
It's sort of self-imposed. A lot of these holidays are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, businesses are going the whole month. I mean,
yeah. Well,
you got. But the thing is that really bothers me is they use the rainbow, and I think that's a gateway for pedophiles to come in and garner children into that.
Let's not get carried away.
Out there, I think there's a percentage. I'm not saying it all. I didn't use the broad brush, but I think there's a percentage out there that use that rainbow and entice kids.
Yeah, it's a very
come
small
and-
percentage. Hey, there's a percentage that misuse automobiles, so we don't take them away. There's a percentage that misuse drugs. We don't take them away. I mean, let's
I
face
agree.
it. There's
on guns,
percentage that misuse anything.
correct. But on guns, you got Kavanaugh that potentially could have been shot by the rhetoric that was spewed out by Chuck Schumer that says he's going to unleash a whirlwind on Kavanaugh. But that rhetoric right there could have cost a Supreme Court justice his life.
I agree.
But
I
the
think
same
Schumer
rhetoric,
should have shut up. I agree.
but the same rhetoric we're getting ready to watch today on TV is the same rhetoric that was spewed out by Trump to peacefully march. But I just don't understand, what's
Well,
you
this
go
is
after
tonight,
the right, but you don't go after the left.
This is a show tonight. This is a show
Oh,
for
yeah.
their own political purpose and nothing else. And fortunately for me, I have an event. I won't be able to watch it.
Nice.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'll probably have to tape it and watch it later. But it's a show. It's all a political show, and you're not going to learn anything from it. It's all staged.
Well, but they said there's new evidence coming,
Yeah.
and it's like, well,
I remember
we
Schiff
spent-
saying that too about Trump. He had evidence. Trump was colluding, and where did that go?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Don't
Bush
worry about
donated to Liz donated, or Bush donated to Liz Cheney for her campaign for the
Yeah.
January 6th committee she's on.
So that's his right.
If nothing comes about that, do you think she's still going to go further in her?
It's up to the
quest
people.
become-
Up to the people of Wyoming whether they re-elect her or not. If they do, more power to her. If they don't, so be it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't agree with every Republican, and I certainly disagree with a lot of Democrats, but there are some I agree with from time to time. So that's the way it goes.
Well, I'm in the same camp.
All right.
So
good enough, buddy.
Alrighty, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Take care.
We have Dale in Bay City. Dale, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I would like to make one brief comment, please, and I will listen to your opinion offline.
Go ahead. Got about a minute.
I think that the people, when we vote in 2022, 2024, the people in this nation will give the direction of this country. On either side of the aisle, whoever's in power is going to push their agenda.
Oh, absolutely.
The people will decide with their vote, and
Sure.
that's the power that we have.
And that's what happens when one side pushes too far one way, the public reacts and they push back the other way. And
The
then when that
people will
side goes
correct
too
it.
far, the people come back again. It's happened time and time and time again in history.
Art, I'm 78 years old, and I've seen this many times before.
I got you by a year.
Okay, well, good for you. Many more to you. Thank you for taking my call, sir.
You got it, Dale. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Unfortunately, Dan, we're not going to get to you because we're out of time, but we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
Coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
Bill G. Schutte is prepared to be our next state representative. Bill was born and raised in mid-Michigan and graduated from local public schools. Bill served our country as an intelligence officer with the Defense Intelligence Agency in Mexico and the Middle East, working to help the fight against terrorists and Mexican drug cartels. He returned home to work for Dow. And now, Bill G. Schutte is running for state representative. With Biden inflation hitting us hard, Bill is fighting for lower taxes so you have more money in your wallet. Bill is fighting for parents and their right to have a seat at the table in their children's education. And Bill G. Schuette is a conservative Republican, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and a strong supporter of law enforcement.
This is Bill G. Schuette. I've briefed generals at home and overseas. I can stand up for you in Lansing. I ask for your vote on August 2nd in the Republican primary.
Paid for by Bill G. Schuette for state representative.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Art Lewis Show, weekday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, that's a wrap on today's Art Lewis Show. We thank you for joining us. Coming up after the news, we'll have Focus for you. And on Focus today, we're going to focus on Old Town Junction in Saginaw. All of that is coming up. But before that, CBS News, they'll bring you up to date on the world and the nation. Michael Perch is in the WSGW newsroom. He'll give you all the details of what's happening in the region and the state. And then we'll be back with Focus. That happens right after the news here on WSGW. Talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. The first prime-time broadcast hearing tonight for the House panel that's investigating the Capitol attack. CBS's Scott McFarland.
We're going to get answers about the 3 hours, what was happening and what was not happening at the White House during the 3 hours in which medieval fighting was happening here at the Capitol, as police were trying to stop a crowd, as police were trying to get control of the Capitol complex. The committee has been clear. They want to know who was in President Trump's ear. What was he saying? What was he hearing in the hours as the riot occurred and before the Capitol was breached?
A House-passed package of gun measures now heads to the Senate, where it has little chance.
The bill is passed.
The vote was 223 to 204 and follows last month's mass shootings in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas.
The Protecting Our Kids Act is about saying no more to mass shootings.
Democrat Pramila Jayapal supporting the bill that includes raising the minimum age for buying a semi-automatic weapon from 18 to 21. Republican Thomas Massey objected.
We're telling 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to register for the draft. We expect you to defend us, but we're not going to give you the tools to defend yourself and your family.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
The PGA says golfers who play in the new Saudi League are no longer eligible for tour events. That doesn't include the 4 major tournaments. Phil Mickelson's playing in this weekend's inaugural Saudi event.
I understand that many people have very strong opinions and may disagree with my decision.
Sweltering triple-digit heat has settled in for much of the Southwest. The Weather Channel's Jim Cantori says it's going to be around for a while.
Millions of you will be dealing with the heat, possibly record highs that you could blow by 2 or 3 or even 4 degrees from the old record highs.
A federal official tells CBS News that 4 of the 5 Marines on an Osprey aircraft that crashed yesterday in Southern California were killed. As Iran makes plans to step up uranium production, CBS's Cammie McCormick tells us.
The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency called a sudden news conference in Vienna to announce Iran is removing nearly 30 surveillance cameras from nuclear sites around the country. He called that a serious challenge, but said his job is to persevere as efforts continue to convince Tehran to change its ways. This equipment had been installed under the 2015 nuclear deal.
The Grammys adding 5 new categories, including Songwriter of the Year for non-performers and a Merit Award that will salute the best song for social change. The Dow is down 183 points. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
With Clarifly Larvicide, you get more than just a fly control product. You get more support, more expertise, and more control to prevent the emergence of nuisance flies from the manure of treated cattle by as much as 96%. It's perfectly blended in your mineral supplement to become a part of what you're already doing, feeding your cattle. Get control of flies with a comprehensive program built around Clarifly Larvicide and Starbar products. To learn more about Clarifly Larvicide, contact your local feed dealer or visit centralflycontrol.com.
Straight Talk Wireless knows there are plenty of reasons you might need a new phone. But switching to a better wireless provider doesn't have to be one of them. Keep your own phone and save when you switch to any Straight Talk Wireless plan, like our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot, plus nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Keep your own phone. Switch to a better wireless plan. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and Walmart.com. Requires a compatible unlocked phone and QIOP kit. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See latest terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 67 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A 27-year-old woman and her 5-year-old daughter escaped unharmed from their burning home in Bay City at 6:20 Wednesday morning. Bay City public safety officers responded to the fire in the 2-story house at 411 South Sheridan. Fire Chief Kurt Corradi arrived to find the mother and daughter standing outside. The woman said she was alerted to the fire by the smoke alarm sounding, allowing the pair to get out safely. Corradi says it's proof that having working smoke alarms in a residence saves lives. They know what happened in Michigan in the past few days with fire fatalities. He adds that it's imperative having working fire detectors in every home. 5 people perished in a house fire in Flint on Monday. The Bay City fire caused heavy damage to the home. The cause remains under investigation. The Flint Police Department has fired one of its officers for allegedly assaulting his domestic partner. During an investigation into the matter, Javion Miller was placed on leave with no pay. He had been with the department for about 6 months. On June 7th, a warrant was issued for his arrest, and he was immediately fired. A court appearance for Miller is pending. MBS International Airport will receive some federal funding for runway and lighting repairs. The U.S. Department of Transportation is providing the airport with more than $367,000 from the Federal Aviation Administration's grant program to conduct those repairs. According to U.S. Senator Gary Peters, the funds help airports in their critical role in boosting the state economy by connecting communities and businesses to important destinations and resources. Peters adds the support will ensure MBS International Airport can continue helping to transport travelers safely and effectively for years to come. WSGW News Time 11:07.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, Rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751. Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The average number of COVID-19 cases dropped by about 1,000 in the past week, but deaths have increased. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services reported around 18,400 COVID-19 cases over the past 7 days, or a daily average of around 2,600. COVID probable and confirmed deaths have increased in the past week from 50 to 131. Just over 800 people are hospitalized statewide with a confirmed case of the virus, about 50 of them on ventilators. State data shows some 1.5 million Michiganders have recovered from the virus as of the end of January, but that number is actually likely much higher. The West Michigan prosecutor will announce today at around 3 o'clock whether charges will be filed in the death of Patrick Lyoya. He's the 26-year-old black man who was on the ground when he was shot in the back of the head by a Grand Rapids police officer in April. Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker gave no hints if charges will be filed. Attorney Ven Johnson represents the Lyoya family and isn't optimistic.
Knowing full well that in 99% of all cases, the police officers are never charged criminally with anything. So my experience tells me what we can probably expect, but I certainly hope that he does the right thing in this case because we believe the evidence is overwhelming evidence that he should be charged criminally, this officer, for shooting my client in the back of the head.
The 26-year-old Lyoya was killed by Grand Rapids officer Christopher Schur after a traffic stop in early April. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms here for today with partial sunshine developing and a high in the mid-70s. Winds out of the west of 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Then for tonight, a slight chance for rain showers early on, decreasing cloud cover, a low near 52. Friday, a slight chance for rain showers here late, blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high of 76. Then by Saturday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high of 76. Sunday, chance for showers and storms, cloudy skies, a high around 75 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 66.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Well, good morning. And welcome to another edition of Focus, brought to you by Roof Max, the safe, affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. You can find out more online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. Roof Max with 2 X's. Today we're going to learn about something that's been around Saginaw for quite some time, but back with us again after the pandemic. And we're going to learn about Old Town Junction down at Hamilton and Mackinac. And with us this morning is Owen Moore. Owen, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing well. A little history. How long has Old Town Junction been there? I mean, I remember it back when? How long has it actually been there?
1982 is when they first opened their doors. And then they closed down about seven to 8 years ago. And we've been reopened since November of 2020.
Great time to open in the middle of the pandemic, huh?
It was, but we've had nothing but a whole bunch of support from the local community, and it's honestly been an amazing 2 years so far.
Well, it's an amazing place. I mean, it's a fun place. It's fun just when you get there and you look at it. It's fun, and when you go in, it's fun. Let me ask, get the tough question out of the way before we get into some of the real positive things happening there. How's staffing?
Okay. Staffing has actually been really good. Haven't had any issues with anybody. We actually have people coming in asking for work on a very consistent basis.
All right. That's good to hear. I mean, that is really good to hear. All right. So let's talk about this iteration of Old Town Junction. How much has it changed from the old one? Did you change it very much?
No, it wasn't changed too much. The roots are still there from the original. Things have been updated a little bit to give it more of a modern feel. But we tried to keep everything the same so that everybody that used to come here from the time it was open up until the time they originally closed their doors, they still got the same feel. So we just wanted everybody to make sure that when they came in, they could reminisce. And there was things that were changed slightly, but not too much. People come in and share stories with us, give us photos of times that they had here, like with their softball team that they used to have. People bring in railroad memorabilia for us all the time because on our bar top we have a display. We have a display, and we do try to change it out about every 6 months. We have pictures that we've been hanging up, and we try to rotate some of them so that when everybody comes in, they can see, and it makes them feel like they are a part of it because they truly are. It's the customers that come in that make this place what it is.
And the railroad theme, there was a caboose, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and the caboose is still there.
Yeah, excellent.
It's just.
All right, so let's talk about some of the things inside. I want to get to, before I forget, I do want to get to this this coming 11th because you got a special event coming up. But tell us about the food at Old Town Junction.
Well, the food, it's what you would kind of see at any tavern, to say it lightly.
Pub grub.
We just put pub grub. We do put a little twist on it just to make it our own. We have an amazing chef in-house, and the rest of the kitchen staff and our other cooks. With the daily specials that we run, we're able to touch on what their expertise is, and it just shows a little bit of the level that they cook and make some amazing food. And it's just been a pleasure working with them, and my mind is blown every time they come up with another special because it hasn't even let them open their full box yet to show us what they are capable of.
What got you into Old Town Junction?
Well, the owner, Tony, he's been a friend of mine for probably 7, almost 8 years. Had a little hiccup in my career, and I needed a job, and he needed help with some other stuff. I started out doing maintenance, and I was part of the security team on the weekends. And about 10 months ago, somewhere in there, just kind of moved me into a different position and has been teaching me how to run this business along with him. And it's definitely been an amazing experience. And he opened his doors for me to come in, and the staff that's here, he's done the same with everybody that's here.
All right,
so it's just more or less a career change.
We're gonna come back and talk about the summer boogie here in just a moment. We're talking to Owen from Old Town Junction down at Mackinac and Hamilton in Saginaw's Old Town area. And we will be back with more right after these notes.
Spring is finally here and exterior projects have begun. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating. Stop in for time-saving advice and products like Ready Seal Stains, a goof-proof wood sealer, and stain finish for fences, decks, pergolas, and more. Ask about our solar screen shades that protect your interior finishes and budget from UV rays and the hot sun. As always, design consultations are available. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to the business of your choice when you play the WSGW Spring Home Makeover Contest, presented by Rose Pest Solutions. To enter, visit WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and click on the contest box. That's when you choose the business you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you are the winner. Businesses include Rose Pest Solutions, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Roof Max, Abley Greenhouse and Garden Center, Delta Door Sales, Crane's L&M Appliance, Begic Nursery and Garden Center, J&B Boots, United Financial Credit Union, Maple Hill Nursery, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Westside Decorating Center, Cluck Nursery, Designer's Touch, M&R Garage Door, Bay Landscaping, Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Woolfiles Ace Hardware, the Spring Home Makeover Contest, presented by Rose Pest Solutions. Enter online, WSGW.com. The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll in the aftermath of the recent multiple shootings that are happening at schools and other locations. President Biden urging Congress to finally do something about gun control, including passing red flag laws. Democrats and Republicans are divided on what to do, but these red flag laws at least seem to be one area of discussion that both are talking about. Red flag laws, which would allow courts to remove firearms from people deemed a danger to themselves or others. Many Democrats are supporting red flag laws, but want additional controls attached. Several Republican lawmakers, certainly not all, are open to the red flag laws, with no attachments, though. In fact, the Republican-led state of Florida did pass a red flag law 4 years ago, for example. Poll question is, what do you say about red flag laws related to gun discussions? Do you think we need a federal red flag law? Do you think that individual states should decide for themselves on red flag laws? Do you not support red flag laws at all? Or you're not sure? You can vote. Head to WSW.com. You scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios.
All right, we're back with you here on Focus on WSGW. We're talking to Owen from Old Town Junction in Saginaw. So, Owen, let's talk about this Saturday and the Summer Boogie. What is that all about?
All right. Well, it is a charity fundraising event for an organization that is out of, they're still in Clare County, but I believe they just moved down into Mount Pleasant. It's called Veterans for USA. And what Mike and his crew do there is they are part of a homeless veterans program. They've paired up with the VA. They help homeless veterans. They raise money for suicide awareness and PTSD awareness as well. They do clothing drives, food drives, and they're also a point of contact for any veterans with disabilities if they need like an assistance ramp built and put on their house. They have crews that actually will help put that stuff up as well.
So it's veteran focused. Totally.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the summer boogie, what time does it start and what's going to be happening?
Okay, so we're going to be open. We're not going to be open for brunch this weekend, but we're going to be open at 11 for a full menu. And then we do have some acoustical music going on outside with the Regal Beagle starting at 12:30. The whole event actually starts and kicks off officially at 3 p.m. is when the first band goes on stage, and that's the Hypocrites that'll be opening up. And then at 6, we have the PBR band out of Midland. And then starting at 9 p.m., we have Detour. They're coming up and showing some support for us as well. So this whole thing runs from basically 12:30 noon until midnight.
Yeah, and I'll be down there from 1 to 3 promoting it. Looking forward to it. And you said full menu, bar menu, everything will be open for the public. How are you going to be raising the money? What's the funding going to be like?
Well, this is the first time we're doing it, so don't know where we're at funding wise, but we do have some vendors that are here selling some of their goods. All the proceeds from anything that we're selling outside, we have burgers and hot dogs on the grill, Coney dogs. We're going to have some specials out in our beer tent area. So any of the proceeds from outside sales are all going towards the Veterans for USA.
That's a great program. Tell everybody again exactly where you're located, because I know it's confusing when you look up the address. It's Mackinac, but most people think of you on Hamilton.
Right. Well, our entrance is actually off of Hamilton Street. We're on the corner of Mackinac and Hamilton. The address is 410. If you follow your GPS, it'll put you in the middle of the block right next to McDonald's. Yeah. But you got to access it from Hamilton Street. Yes. But that day we're actually we have the block closed off. So the McDonald's across the road has been gracious enough to let us have customers park there. And then we have a Covenant building across the road. They let us use their parking lot as well. So there's going to be plenty of room for parking for cars, motorcycles, scooters, bicycles, whatever you want. There's going to be plenty of space for everybody.
I'll have to find a place for the radio station van when I get down there. We'll manage.
Oh, we'll make room for you.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I'm looking. I have not been in recently, and I'm looking forward to going back into Old Town Junction, because I have fond memories of eating in there many times, and it's a wonderful spot. It really is a wonderful spot.
Well, I appreciate it.
So, Owen, we will look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Again, it's the Summer Boogie, starting about 12:30 at Old Town Junction in Hamilton and Mackinac, and for the benefit of a great veterans organization. And it should be a fun time for everyone, and we look forward to being down there with you, Owen. We'll see you then.
Oh, most definitely.
All right. And before I let you go, anything else coming up after this? What's ahead during the summer?
Well, we're still kind of planning some more stuff. This is for this Saturday is kind of taking up our plate, but on Fridays and Saturdays we have live music. Tuesdays we do live music as well. Every Wednesday we do trivia, and every other Wednesday we do have live music as well.
Very good.
And Thursdays we do bike night.
Sounds like fun. We'll see you Saturday, Owen.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Owen Moore down at Old Town Junction. We thank him for joining us, and we'll look forward to being down there Saturday. We're going to be down there from 1 to 3. We'll have reports for you.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granular